Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a new stream. Today we are going to, I was a little bit confused because I was sharing it on Reddit and it took me to a post for the Article 13 of the EU. So something about copyright and blah blah blah. Well, it doesn't really matter. Welcome back. Today we will finish the painting, or finish is maybe it's quite a big term. We will continue with this one, and this is the last day that we will work on it on stream. If I think I need to work on it a little bit more, I will do. I worked on it a little bit between streams. As I said, I might do, and I actually did. I think I designed the town or city or whatever a little bit better. So yeah, let's quickly continue. I'm just gonna paint. For now, I kind of want to start using textures soonish. 15 small for this one. Because I think we can use it and it might save some time. I also think I need to, I think the first thing that I'm gonna do is actually sort of create a little bit more depth in the painting by sort of separating different layers of buildings. So some buildings are behind others and stuff like that. We don't want to go too extreme on that, but a tiny bit of separation might be nice. Something like this. And we probably have to do that here as well. I think I want to keep this one a little bit to the foreground, and going to push the others a little bit further back. And we might keep doing that a little bit more often, just to create a little bit of depth. I don't want to go too heavy on this. I think I want to separate this one though, because currently we have sort of these two pillars, or these three pillars next to each other, and I don't really like that. I think I want to make this one a little bit darker. Let's create a new layer, set it to multiply. Go. Much. Like that. And this is separated better. Oops, we have to select the right layer for that. Let's stick to a little bit much. There we go. This is a bit of an issue. These two are sort of the same height. So we either have to, I think we have to make this one shorter, because if we make this one shorter, we will get sort of a diagonal going here. And I kind of want to break this up, so we might keep this, but we probably want something like I kind of want to offset it a little bit to the side and push it into the background. This tower. So we're gonna do it like this. Probably reasonable selection. Let's quickly grab this as well. Create a copy. The problem is we need to flatten the layers to properly do that. Create a copy. Copy to, let's say, there, and do something like this. Get it back into the background. Go. So it's sitting there in the background, and we will sort of, we'll either make this sort of one building, or I don't know. We'll connect these two. Probably. So maybe with a little walkway or a bridge or whatever, so that we disconnected. My Photoshop is still slow. I still haven't figured out what is causing the issue. I have some ideas, but I haven't really had the chance to test those. So we just have to sort of paint at a somewhat slower pace, which is probably a good thing for me, because I tend to rush things at when I come to a certain stage, and when I am a little bit more cautious and a little bit slower, in the end it actually saves me time, because I don't have to spend much time sort of fixing the mistakes that I made when I'm sort of on this painting rampage, as I called it last week. So yeah, what else can we talk about? Not too much. I think I like this change. We can quickly check it. So we had this before, and now we have that. I think that's a good change. We might push this a little bit further back, or we might push that one a little bit further back. We'll see. We probably end up with some variation there. I kind of want to sort of blend this a little bit better in the background by getting some there and stuff like that. Be a little bit too dark. So yeah, we'll worry a little bit about the design before we actually really start to clean it. Although with sort of designing everything out, we're also in the meantime cleaning up the real rough stuff. But things like values and stuff like that, we still want to worry about that a little bit. So yeah, it took us a long time last week to sort of get going. Not last week, last Monday, to get going. But I'm really happy so far with the result, and hopefully we can actually do a lot more today, because last week it took I was sort of looking at back, and it took me sort of almost 40 minutes to get to a decent ID and to sort of get going with that ID. So in the end we only sort of spend 20 minutes on the actual painting. So hopefully we can spend the full hour today on the painting, or 1.5 hours. It depends. We'll see how long we stream for. Depends on my energy level. As I said before, I have to really watch out for that it's a healthy amount. I hope I can stream for longer hours later this year. So I would really like that. And I think it's important to try to do that for the channel as well, to sort of grow the channel. I think streaming longer really helps. I mean, if you stream for an hour, people only get an hour to sort of catch the stream, to see the posts on Reddit and stuff like that, and come here and actually see the stream live. Of course, the posts will stay there until the next stream. So they get to see the channel if they click a link, but not the live stream. But I think streaming for longer in the end will help us grow the channel faster, which would help a lot, and it helps our improving rate to go up as well, because we spend a lot more time painting. This has yeah, I think we have to do some engineering on the perspective of these two big buildings, or the bigger buildings. I think those are quite important to have a good perspective on. So yeah, and yeah, the advantages of longer streams I was talking about. That let's continue to talk for a while, because I like to ramble about random subjects. It gives us more time to sort of work on paintings as well, so the end result will get better, or well, both. Probably the end result will get better, and we might be able to do more paintings in a week instead of just the one that we're currently doing. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind when thinking about streaming, stuff like that. So yeah, that's definitely stuff that I think about as well. But we might do some sort of a challenge. Sounds so challenging, but see these all these challenges on YouTube. Well, YouTube is who are trying to grow their channel, so they will post a video every day for a month, something like that. We might do something similar in the future, where we try to stream. I don't know if it's possible to do every day, but more times a week, or do 2 streams, 2 4-hour streams each week for a month. So instead of the 1.5 or the 1 to 2 hour streams we have today, we'll do double, at least double of that, or maybe even sort of 6 hours. And there's plenty of, we could even do a 12 or 24. 24-hour stream is just not healthy for me. I don't think it's healthy for anyone. I know some people do it to grow their channel and stuff, but it's not healthy for you. And of course it's great. I think it's great for the channel, because I think in 24 hours streaming, I think you can get a lot of views and subscribers, which can translate in more views in the future and higher channel growth and stuff like that. I don't know how YouTube is with the algorithm in terms of suggesting live streams. If you're live every day, for instance, does it sort of increase the rate at which people see your live stream and things like that? It's all sort of really interesting to think about and to figure stuff like that out, stuff like that out. Am I talking the right words here? But it also makes it sort of really businessy, which is, yeah, I'd like to see this channel grow and sort of create a community and sort of, yeah, create a community in which people can learn and we can learn from each other. But I don't necessarily like the whole figuring. Yeah, I like to figure it out, but how it works. But I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Probably have to sort of at some point. I probably have to sort of sit down and figure out a strategy to grow the channel. Well, the channel grows, although it's slowly, and it sort of goes up and down. Sometimes it grows faster, sometimes it grows a little bit slower. It depends on what I stream and how many videos I release. When I release a lot of videos, the channel grows faster, which certainly makes sense. So you could say, you know what, to grow the channel, just post more videos. Which is probably a good tactic. But I don't want the channel to just be about the videos. I think I want to, in the future, go more towards the live streaming. I think I want to make that the sort of important part of the channel, and I know that Twitch is probably the better platform currently for live streaming. But since I want to do both videos and live streaming, I know a lot of people sort of have both a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel. But I like the fact that with just having YouTube and streaming on YouTube, you can have everything on in a single place. I really like that about just everything on YouTube. So I will probably just stay on YouTube. So yeah, that was some ramblings about the channel and channel growth and stuff like that. But there's a lot that that we can do to sort of work on the channel and make it grow and reach more people. And I think that the most basic thing that you can do is just spend time on it. I think I'm sure that the more time you spend on it, the bigger it will get and the faster it will grow. I'm 100% positive that if I were to stream every day for 4 hours a day on YouTube, the channel would grow massively. Unfortunately, I'm not yet in the position to do that. I'm not sure if I want to be in that position. If I want to sort of go full time on the channel. I really like it, but I also want to have time for other stuff. Although 4 streams a week and streaming for, let's say, 6 hours, do 4 6-hour streams, that's 24 hours. That's not that's not the equivalent of a full-time job yet. But you have to keep in mind that there's other stuff involved as well, like making time lapses of the streams, things like that. So yeah, as you probably know by now, I like to ramble a lot about random things. Things that come to my mind. Yeah, and in the meantime, we sort of keep putting down and new buildings, and yeah, we're not putting down buildings, we're putting down brushstrokes, and those brushstrokes represent buildings. I'm not sure how well the cavern ID or yeah, the cavern ID sort of translates. I don't really like the fact that that's perfectly straight. So I'm gonna sort of build this full of houses and maybe some walkways and bridges toward the other side. To cross the canyon. Go. Yeah, and from now on, it's mainly just refining the stuff that we already have. I think we need to create some more depth here and there, sort of separate the buildings a little bit better from each other. I think I'm gonna start with that soon, because I think it's better to do that sooner than later. And the end result will probably be fairly messy, still fairly unrefined, so to say. But I think that's in this case it sort of adds to the atmosphere of the painting, or at least that's what I hope, because these buildings are not sort of planned; they're just put down there and built next to each other and on top of each other. So it's a big mess basically, and I hope that the style of the painting will represent that a little bit. So you sort of can see what's going on, but sometimes it's a little bit hard. But we have to balance it out, that there is enough information that you can actually see what's going on, rather than that have the idea, what am I looking at actually? That's not good. People have to know what they're looking at, but so if you're not sure what you're looking at, please let me know, because then I know what to well, then we can figure out what to change, because I'm also learning. It's not me teaching people how to paint, it's me learning how to paint, and hopefully people can learn along, tag along and learn with me. So if something is unclear, or something there is something that I can do better, please let me know, because that's what I want eventually from the streams, sort of interaction between me and the viewers, sort of create the paintings, maybe even create the paintings sort of together. I think that would be really cool. We can see if we made any progress in the first 20, a little bit over 20 minutes, almost 25 minutes. So this is basically what we started with today. I did a little bit of work before we started this new layer. As you can see, there's not much that changed, but it's mainly details, and I think things are starting to get more clear. So I'm quite happy. This is something I really need to work on. This is quite a big sort of centerpiece of the painting, but it's also one of the things that I did the least amount of work on. I did a lot of work here and here, which is fine. I might push this back a little bit, or separate it in two, like I did with this one. Because it's quite distracting at this point. It's and maybe I'll do the same with this one, because I really like this area, where and especially this side where everything is sort of stacked and there's a lot of different angles on the roofs and stuff like that. And these two sort of break that pattern. This big tower here and the big tower on the left. Those two break sort of that pattern of almost randomness. And I think they either have to be some sort of a significant building, sort of like a castle or a religious building or whatever, or they have to be broken down into smaller individual pieces. And even if they are a sort of a significant, important building, I think I should break them up a little bit more to individual pieces. I think that fits the rest of the painting a little bit better. So I think I'm gonna try to do something here. I am going to copy this. And I'm gonna put it there. Problem is, I should have just copied the building and not the background with it. Yeah. Maybe we can just keep it like that. Let's do some experimenting. We're working in a new layer, so we can always go back to an older state if we don't really we don't like this one. Yes. And do we? I think I kind of want this to separate it here as well. There we go. It's broken up a little bit better. The thing is, I think we need to move this one a little bit off to the side, left. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe it's probably dark. sort of add some stuff and some variation to it. This is a big roof like so. Hopefully it's gonna read a bit better now. So down here, so yeah, you can definitely see it's a big building, and this sticks out from there. So this is sort of attached to here. Probably have to work on this though. I'd like to have this roof orientated in the different direction. So like this. Yeah, it's better. And let's put some lighter color down there as well. And we don't want to put too much effort in detailing this side, because this is not the focal point of the painting. So we want our eye to be drawn towards sort of this area, not towards the side here. Yeah, I think this is definitely better than what we had before. Still, it still needs some work, but I think compared to this sort of boring tower, I really like this one a lot more. It has a lot more body to it, and it fits the rest of the painting better. As you can see, it's still a big building, so it's probably quite an important building. But it fits the style of the rest of the painting better. Um, yeah, and some of these buildings back here, we can probably do the same. Add different elements to them. Sort of each building is made of a couple of houses or buildings, mainly houses. It's for people to live. So it first started out as a canyon. It doesn't really have that canyon feel anymore, which is okay by me. I probably should have picked a lower point of view, or I should get rid of this entire thing here. Sort of make these all go all the way down. We could push this in the sort of the background with the same value as this building here, and then we can go back sort of to the canyon ID. But I think I'm gonna keep it the way it is now. lasso tool. Yeah, I think we're gonna play with the lasso tool a little bit for now. Sort of start get a little bit more depth in the painting here and there. Separate some stuff where necessary. Want this one on the front? Yeah, I think I want to bring this one further. So select this. So, and then a brush, not a soft brush anymore. Probably go. Probably do these erases. Don't get a weird there. It's very subtle. Maybe we can probably get away with announced. We probably should check the values as well. It's really dark overall. And I think we really need some bright highlights at the focal points. So we do that with lights or little fires and things like that, I think, in the end. Don't want to mess too much with this area here. I probably have to do some work on it. I probably should stop saying probably often. So yeah, instead of doing what I said, I'm gonna work on this area here. I'm usually sort of working all over the place and not really focusing on one thing at a time. Going back and forth between different areas. And the good thing about that is the level of detail is sort of similar across the entire painting. There's not a single part of the painting that has a more finished look to it. If I were to render out this roof perfectly with tiles, with a nice texture and things like that, and the rest of the painting was sort of still the same level detail as it currently is, it strange, and I'd have to spend a lot of time on the rest of the painting to make it look at the same level of detail. So I like to sort of go back and forth between different areas, so I can sort of stop at any point. I could stop at this point and say, you know what, this is a really rough painting. Probably can see what's going on. At least I hope you can. And yeah, I think this painting is at a point where we could say stop and just keep it rough, which is something I like to do sometimes. Well, most of my paintings are really rough. I quite like it that way. That way I can make more paintings. I have always something new, exciting to. I really don't like the perspective here. I should do something before we move on. Image, rotate canvas horizontally. And if there are any mistakes with the perspective, you tend to see them immediately when you flip the canvas, and I have to say I'm not really seeing that many issues This is not perfect down here, but that's an area we still have to work on. And this is slightly off, but that's mainly this one here. Needs to be a little bit flatter, like so probably. I don't know why orange there. I need orange for some sort of contrast, but I think overall, excuse me, overall the perspective is quite good, I think. Usually you immediately see it. I have finished paintings where I forgot to flip the canvas, and when you flip the canvas, it's like, this is not looking good. And I don't have that same thing with this painting, so I guess the perspective is decent. But that's good to know. How long have you been streaming for? 40 minutes already. Wow, time really flies. Sometimes I I look at the clock and think, oh, I still have to stream for 30 minutes. But now I'm just having fun, and I want to get it nicely. I really like the fact that I decided to do only one painting during a stream. It's a really good idea. Gives us the opportunity to make the painting quite a lot better, and yeah. I'm having fun. I'm not sure if I want to use some textures on the painting. Excuse me. Of course, we threw down some photos of at the really early beginning. You could check that in our previous live stream if you haven't seen that. When we started out, just to sort of get the color palette, and here and there you can still see the photographs sort of shine through, especially here. You can see the lights of the buildings here as well. But I might get some photographs and throw them in, but not sure if I need to. I kind of like it the way it is. I really need to work on this area because this is really lagging behind in terms of still. And I kind of want to do something with this building. Add some stuff to it, and sort of give it the same treatment as the building here on the right. But we'll do that later. Let's first fill this bottom part in with stuff. We don't have to worry too much about detail for these buildings, for this area. It's not the focal point, but still want to have something there. that not good? That should look into making the roofs a little bit lighter, the rest of the building, because they probably reflect some light from the sky. The sky is fairly light still. So yeah, we probably should check whether something like that is gonna work. I think we can do something like that. It's really an area which I should study a little bit more, light and color and things like that. It can be quite complicated. Not sure how I'm gonna study that. Probably should just Google to search for some methods to study it, and something that really helps is just look at a real world and yeah, sort of build a library in your head, images that you see. You go outside. I can't really take my my computer outside, so I can't do live studies. But we could do some paid studies from photographs with the interesting lighting settings, just to get a feel for the color and how the light flows, and then really when we sort of study that, figure out how the light goes and where the bounce light is and things like that. Yeah, I think if we do that, that's a really good way to get better at it. Because now I'm just sort of doing it off the top of my head. Sometimes I think about it a little bit, but not too much. And there are just times when I just don't know. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, there's definitely room for improvement there. So yeah, it's coming together. Let's worry about this little fellow here. I don't really like the fact that this is the tallest building that we have. Sort of looking down upon the city, and the buildings are already really tall. You can see with this one here as well, it's quite high. It's okay that this one is so high, but it has to be wider, I think. So we can either make it wider or chop off a bit from the top. I think we can probably chop this bit off. Let me see. A lot of the roofs are orientated that way, so we're gonna go and orientate this roof the other way. Get a different variation there, and we can keep part of it, of course, as the background. Gonna slightly alter it. Make it a cluster of buildings rather than a single building. There we go. I think we sort of successfully chopped that bit off. Let's fix the roof. Yeah, I really think we need to make the roofs slightly lighter. So they reflect the light from the sky. And it also gives us a way to sort of separate these on the side from the rest of the buildings. Yeah, I think that works. They don't have to be that much lighter, but just enough to sort of nice separation going. Use this one as an experiment for that. I like that. Can at least use yeah, some of the roofs are already have quite some light parts to it, so it needs to be straight. Yeah. Too much like this. Add some sections. And maybe not on each roof. Yeah, I think this might work. There we go. So yeah, this is a little bit less than everything that we did today because we started with chopping sort of this building. But yeah, I think so far the result is quite good. I'm quite happy with it. So I'm gonna take a short break, about 2 minutes. I'm gonna grab a little bit of water, take a little snack, and I will be back for probably half an hour or something like that. We'll clean up some of the painting. We'll probably clean up a little bit down here at the bottom, and just do some more cleanup in the background. And yeah, I'm really liking this one. It's really rough, but I think it fits the theme quite well. So I'm currently quite happy with it. I see you in a bit. And I'm back from the break. Alright, let's quickly get going again. Yeah, from now on it's basically just nothing else but clean up. So let's make the brush even a little bit smaller, quite small. And yeah, go from there. Probably gonna be orange. Because there's no light sort of bounce back from, to bounce back. Can make this orange though. You have some lights there shining through windows, like that. I'm not sure if I want to come with some stronger highlights. It's fairly dark, but I think it's okay. So yeah, let's just clean up everything real quick. It's the most important bits, and then we can call it a day for this one. Of course, we could spend a couple more hours on this one and really get it to a nice finish. Maybe I will do it. I don't know if I find the time, but I always say that and usually end up not doing it because I have other stuff to do as well. So, but I'll definitely make a time lapse out of these two streams, and yeah, maybe I will just work on it for another half an hour. We're currently at a stage where each 10 minutes we make quite a bit of progress, so half an hour extra is will probably make it quite nice. But we're not at the end of the stream yet, so who knows how this will end up looking at the end of the stream. I hope fairly decent. I think I want that roof to be quite light. Have this sort of wooden frames, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna use textures for this one. I really like the rough painted look, and I kind of want to keep it that way. So yeah, let's quickly give the rest sort of the same treatment. At least the rest of the buildings in the foreground are sort of the main focal point buildings. Turn this around, make the roof a little bit lighter and somewhat darker. You don't want to worry too much about the detailing here because this is fairly far background. So that's quite okay the way it is now, I think. Ah, keep pressing the wrong buttons and then it displaces the layer. Could avoid it by just not working in a layer, but I like to keep the layer just so I'm able to see if I like my progress. Yeah, I think this is okay. A darker, slightly darker color. So some darker accents. Yeah, back. So yeah, all we're doing now is just go over sort of the existing stuff and make it look a little bit nicer. Just add some strokes here and there, a little bit of texture, a little bit of extra detail. Nothing too major. There's no changes in design or anything. It's just making just there to make everything look a little bit cleaner. And you don't want to overdo it. Can always do sort of another pass. You can do this sort of as much as you want. You can in the end really go in there and add pieces of moss and I don't know, stuff like that, algae, to really make it stand out. But we'll just do a single pass over the for most of the painting, so that it all feels uniform and it's good. This is sort of the yeah, quite relaxing. You don't have to use your brain power anymore. You can just sit back, relax a little. And the more you do it, the more you're sort of faster you are with it. And I think everyone can sort of do this. This is, in my opinion, and you know it's an opinion, so other people might think differently. But I think it's definitely the easiest stuff of the painting, because everything is there. You don't have to worry about where to put stuff, and worry about the perspective anymore. It's all there. You can do small fixes like here. I think the perspective of the roof is a little bit off. So you can sort of erase that out. But usually you don't have to worry about stuff like that anymore. Just adding small things. Use the information that's already there, and sometimes it's sort of a brush stroke that is unintentionally there, or a little bit further than you intended. You can use those little mistakes to create extra detail. Bob Ross is famous for that, for the happy accident theory. Don't make mistakes, just have happy accidents. Like for instance, this we can make that sort of a hanging little thing that's just hanging there and chilling. As I said before, you can make it as detailed as you want. You can probably make this almost photorealistic if you really spend the time with it. But that's not my my ambition to make photorealistic art. Just want to make looking stuff and much as possible, and that's what I do. Sort of half done with a piece, I move on to the next one. It's getting more and more my sort of my modus operandi, I don't know, way I work, my style. Feel quite comfortable and happy with that. So yeah, there will always be sort of flaws in the end result. But I think that's also adds there's a charm sort of to it, being quite for it being quite rough. Yeah, I like that. All right. So that's about 10 minutes of refining so far. And I think that the result, if we were to put on an after layer, if you zoom out, you barely see any difference, and if you zoom in, you sort of see just everything is a little bit more pronounced. It's like that. This is also a building we want to work on, and at the end we're probably gonna do a quick pass on the background because it's really rough now, and I want to keep it rough, but not as rough as it is now. I probably want to make it slightly rougher than the foreground is currently, so we can be reasonably quick with the background. I think I want to sort of add just windows here and there. And I don't think it's a problem that you can still see some of the lights of the texture that we used. I think that's okay. Could stay there. Let's see what we achieved. I didn't really. I probably should have done the detailing on a new layer. Well, you can see it here. We didn't really change much here, and then you can see, wow, it's working quite nicely. The same goes for here. Yeah, I'm quite happy. I'm also quite happy with the lighter roofs. I think it's working quite nice. So yeah, all we're gonna do is yeah, is just continuing with this for the next 15 minutes, and we'll see. I might not. Excuse me. I might not be able to finish it entirely during the stream, but I will definitely sort of finish this first pass for the it's called for the time lapse. So I will put it in the time lapse, and I will post the end result at the end of the time lapse. So yeah, because of course it's nice to see maybe, but I think the most interesting things to stream are the sort of the ID generation and the first 2 hours of the painting. Although technically we're still in the first 2 hours, if we sort of say that we really started painting at 40 minutes in last stream, and we streamed for a little over an hour, and now we're at an hour and 50 minutes, so we're still sort of in the first 2 hours of the painting, which is actually quite interesting to think about that. So in 2 hours we were able to put down to create a quite nice painting. Really like this one, and yeah, I really like the new work method, as I said earlier in the stream. So I'm definitely looking forward to next week. We're gonna start a new one. Not sure what yet. I will try to figure that out before we stream, so we don't have to spend 40 minutes figuring out what we're gonna do, because that's just basically lost time. If I already know what I want to do, then can immediately start with that. Although, of course, even if I have an idea, it's sort of sometimes or almost always it takes a little time to sort of get the ID going and get the painting going. But hopefully we can do that a lot earlier. I kind of want to have the result that I had last stream, the total result, so to say. I kind of want to have that in half an hour to 3/4 of an hour. I at least want to have the result that I started today with, because I worked a little bit between streams on it for like 15 minutes. So yeah, that's definitely something that we're gonna try to do, and it's basically starting with knowing what I want out of the painting. It's gonna help a lot with the actual painting. We could start with one of the thumbnail sketches that I did, which could be nice. but I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. Fact is, hopefully we're gonna have a better experience on Monday than we had last Monday. I'm also gonna start a little bit later, probably on Monday, like I did last week, because I think it's a slightly better time for the audio audience, I should say, not for the audio audience. Of course, the times that I stream are highly good for building an audience. So, yeah, as I rambled before, when I had my rambling session about streaming, growing the channel and stuff like that. That's probably something to look into as well. When can we schedule streams that are likely to catch more viewers? It's like that. So yeah, I quite like the way that the background is going. Yes, it's still really rough, but it represents sort of the building style that we have here in the front a lot better than before. I really feel that the background is coming alive as well, and it feels like more like a uniform painting as with what we had before. Yeah, I really like it. We still have to do some work here, of course. Let's just work on this area for now. Yeah, so far I'm really happy with this one. Let's just make this pyramid roof. We have one of these. And I'm not doing that much. I'm just putting down a couple of lines and using a much smaller brush than I did with putting down sort of the initial lines, and sort of combination of the brush strokes that are already there and the new brush strokes. It gives a lot of detail. Because a bit of the original brush strokes, or quite a lot of the original brush strokes, is still there, and it's overlaps in certain ways and things like that. It's not that hard. As I said before, this detailing is just following what's already there and just refine it so that the audience see it, viewer, person that views the painting. Yeah, this I think this bit is probably quite boring to watch because not not a large amount of progress that's being made. Overall, if you sort of shrink the image down to sort of a thumbnail size, there's nothing really changing. So that's why I'm not gonna put everything on stream. We'll just do rest of it off stream. I'm not sure if I'll even board it, because it's basically the same, more of the same, nothing else. Just refining a painting is just yeah. It's not boring to do. It's especially if you get to see the end result. It's really satisfying to sort of see that really rough brushstrokes that you put down come alive and make it feel like a lot more like an actual painting with detail in the background and things like that. But from a viewer's perspective, it isn't that great to watch. It's just sort of repetitive. Not sort of, it is repetitive. So usually it's just good to when you have to relax a little bit and don't want to use your brain power, put on some music and finish it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen today. I probably will work on it longer today. I will put on some music and sort of bash out the last probably half an hour or so that I want to work on it, because I still have areas that I have missed, like down here, and yeah, this area can use a little bit more detail, and of course this big one here can use quite a lot. So we still have to do probably like a half an hour or so on detailing. But yeah, that's basically the same as what we did the last half hour. So I'm not gonna continue streaming. Maybe if I will start to stream for longer periods of time, we can do it. But if I do longer streams, you might even be able to do 2 paintings a week, so 1 painting per stream. We'll see. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. I certainly did. As always, when you paint, you keep learning new stuff. And I really like it. I really like the painting. I really like the process. And I'm gonna finish it. And there will be a time lapse next week. Alright, I'll see you next week with a new stream, a new painting, and not sure what yet. If you have any suggestions, by the way, post them in the comments, and we might do it. So yeah, that's something we probably should do. Take your suggestions on subjects and yeah, see what we can make out of it. Alright, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.